It's another Champions League night tonight with Atletico versus Leverkusen and City versus Monaco. So it has been pretty slow thus far. Yesterday was a day with some action. There was both two Champions League games there, including Leicester, which I got a very nice Toronto bet on Leicester to win. So they managed to do that comfortably and make it through. So that was very good to see, and to see that bet going in as well. We'll dig into my stats pretty soon. So let's just have a look here. I've been having a bit of an issue with accessing a couple of the bookies today. So right now I only have up Coolbet and Bet365. Let's have a look at how I've been doing, or the current status of my betting. Right, so overall we reached 1,209 trades. I think it's been like 2 weekends ago since the last Trading Europe stream. So it's been another busy period, but still getting some trades in, especially more during the weekdays. But the weekends have been a couple of travels, so that's always not ideal since that's when the action is on. But you just got to make the best out of those situations and get the trades in when you can. So the profits have been increasing, which is always good. And I think I was around -3% at Bet365. So it's very nice to see that sort of starting to go the right way again. Surprisingly enough, I still find myself with a negative 6.1% ROI on Coolbet after 169 trades, which is a bit surprising. At least from what I've seen, I've gotten a bunch of good edges on Coolbet. Some of them might be a bit on the low side, like around 2%, but then again, the majority of them are on like 2.0 favorites. Or 2.0 in odds, and also quite often on the favorite team. So I've been happy to getting my money in on those, and I'll keep doing it. But I think I'm gonna have a bit of a look on Coolbet. First, let's just I got 2 trades open today. So yeah, as I said, it's been fairly slow. Those are both the Champions League games though, which is going to make it a lot more fun to watch them later. The first game between Monaco and City was pretty crazy. So Monaco, they got to go outscore some goals at their home field today, and they're one of the most goal-scoring teams in all of Europe. So that should suit them pretty well to just go out on attack, and it's going to be interesting to see how City can cope with that. So, ideally, I'd have the over 2.5 in the Monaco City game, but we'll see. And I think I'll just change my preset a little bit, so just in case another edge pops up on those Champions League games, I think I want to get in a bit more action there, especially if it's an over 2.5 or over anything in the City game. Let's have a look on the analytics page, and let's just try and zoom in on how I've been doing over just like the last 2 weeks since I did the last stream. Overall, my closing's at 2.4. Still not super happy about it, but I'm gonna take the trades that pop into my presets, and then we'll see what happens if I just keep doing that. I think the most important thing for me really is to just get the trades in. Okay, so it's done 15 today. So let's have a look. I think it's since Monday the 27th. I think I didn't stream that weekend. Alright. Yeah, so overall, pretty busy period. 105 trades in total. It's not very high. Started out losing a couple of big bets back then. I think there's a Newcastle bet in here somewhere. Yeah. Brighton versus Newcastle was 3 big in a row, and all of those were at cool bets. So I think that might have been where some of those negative profits have been coming from. I also think that the majority of these bets will have been at cool bet. Overall, though, you know, running extremely well in this very small sample size with a 10% ROI. I'm running below my flat ROI, so I guess that's down to these early bets affecting that. Some big bets not going in. Overall, average odds I've been getting is around 2.5. I'm happy with that. I made a new preset today, but in general I've been sticking to sub 4 in odds over the last time, and I think I'm gonna keep doing that as well. Alright, let's have a look at how I've been doing at cool bet in general, because that is something that I am a bit curious about. Let's see if it's just possible to remove that and have a look at cool bet. Yeah, so it's been pretty consistently, I mean, that's not a very good start, is it? Losing all these big bets and then just getting off to a pretty rough start. And the average closing edge is only at 1.2%. So it might have been the case that I've fooled myself a bit, just being happy that there are so many edges there. And that I have been taking some edges which were a bit marginal. Oh yeah, the date was still in, so let's see if we can yeah, if I just zoom way out, then I get all of the trades. Yeah, yeah, it was a loss there for Liverpool against Leicester, so Leicester made a bit up for it yesterday, winning me some of the money back, so a bit more happy with them now. But yeah, so there's been, I guess compared to some of the bets I've been having overall lately, there have been some larger bets at cool bet, and when those haven't gone in, it's really just skewed my results down to the negatives. Yeah, and I mean, my flat ROI 1.2%, but my average ROI minus 6.1%. So really, those large bets just having a very dramatic impact on my trading so far. Only getting 1% average closing edge though. That is a bit marginal. I might have to try and be a bit more picky. I think I'll at least stick to it another month, and then, you know, if the average closing and stats and everything remains the same, at that point in time, I'll try switching up the strategy a little bit. Grêmio. They have 2 leagues in Brazil. They have like the one for like the overall top division with the best teams, and they also have like a regional series. And I went to Rio a couple of years back. We went to like a local game at Maracanã, which was quite fun, where we saw Fluminense play. So in Rio, they actually have 4 different teams from different parts of the city, and all of them represent different like social groups. You have Vasco, which is for the Portuguese. I think Fluminense was for the rich guys, and then Botafogo was the team for the poor. And then I can't remember the last team, but it's another one of the big teams. One of the big teams from Brazil. I want to next just have a look at whether or not there's been any trades that really has not been into my favor, and just have a look at where I'm at in those. So yesterday I placed this bet 2 hours before the game, 2.6% edge, closed at -5. Interesting. There's another one that moved out. So yeah, it's been a lot of these like 2.5%. This one, it's a pretty nice 7.3% and closed at 9, but you know, still lost. So that happens. I remember I paid attention to this all board game, and Midtjylland equalized after 91 minutes. So this happens as well. And here was a good streak last week with Europa League. Just really hitting the Europa League here. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 5 games, and all of them just go pretty well. I guess I could have had a higher over here in the Barca game, and then this game was just that's just insane. I passed. I follow a football blog which I find very interesting called StatsBomb, and it is very naturally it's very stat centered. The guy running the site is called Ted Knutson, and he used to work modeling odds for Pinnacle for about 8 years. And he's also worked 2 years for Brentford and Midtjylland via Matthew Benham's company Smart Odds. So I do recommend that you guys, if you're interested in football, then definitely check out his sites. They do a lot of looking at like the underlying numbers of teams to figure out whether what they're doing is going to be sustainable, whether or not they've been lucky, or if there's they really have figured out an edge that they're consistently able to exploit. So with regards to today's game for Monaco, there's an article there. That's not by Ted, that's by another guy, but it's I found it pretty interesting as well. So currently Monaco, their conversion rates I think was like the second highest out of the best teams in Europe over, I think it was last 6 years. What was interesting though was that they didn't take a very particular high amount of shots, and their shot wasn't necessarily from great positions either. So they've basically just been scoring way more goals than what could be expected based on the shots that they've taken. It's going to be interesting to see whether that continues against Manchester City tonight. And another thing that was interesting about this is that in a league where, you know, the teams play, for instance, 38 games, and in the Premier League, and I think it's 20 teams in France as well, so that would apply there then, that these positive skews can last for like an entire season. And that's what happened with Leicester last year, you know, when they both had like a first half of the season, they had like a very positive skew where they just scored more goals than expected, and then in the second half of the season they just didn't let in any goals. And I find this way of looking at sports very interesting, since it's you both try and look at you both try and like analyze what you see, but also have a look at the underlying numbers, and then you can look at whether or not these fit together, or whether or not they lead to totally different conclusions, and then, you know, you got to find explanations for why that happens. I am looking forward to the Monaco game tonight. It's gonna be really interesting. It doesn't look like there's too much action. So, I mean, there's a round of NBA tonight starting at around, I guess it's midnight UK time, 1 a.m. for us here in GMT +1. I'm gonna probably stay up a bit and try and get in some action before that round starts. Besides that, you know, it's been a fairly quiet day. So in total, you know, I'm here with my 2 trades for tonight, but again, at least it's on the Champions League. To me, that also makes the games a lot more fun to watch. So now I just made another preset where I want to have a look at some of the higher odds ranges. In general, I try to stick to below 4 because the variance will be smaller in lower odds ranges. But also, we had a big data analysis session where we looked at the community data from Trademate a week or two back. And what we found out from the data was that currently we're slightly overvaluing edges on higher odds ranges, and we're also slightly undervaluing edges on lower odds range. This has caused the discrepancy between the flat ROI and the average closing edge once we looked at all trades that were placed by the community. So we're currently working on adjusting our algorithm to take these things into consideration so that it becomes more accurate in the future. So since we saw that we're slightly overvaluing the higher odds ranges, I still don't want to rule out betting there totally, mainly due to the variance, but also to sort of give myself a margin of safety in practice. I've set my minimum edge here to 4%. One could go a bit lower, maybe 2-3, but me personally, since I'm not a very big fan of betting on the higher odds ranges in general, I want to be a bit more picky with which trades I get on here. That's a new preset that I made this week, so I'm going to pay attention there and see if any good edges comes up, and I guess I'm looking forward to more Europa League and then a full round of football this weekend. Yeah, I really want to say thanks to our users who keep giving us very good input on what they would like to see in Trademate, and I just want to let you guys know that we are listening to what you're saying, and we want to make this product as good as it possibly can be. We have a couple of interesting things coming up, but I want to keep it a bit on download until that, and rather tell you guys when it's ready. If you want to get notifications for when the stream goes live, then it's good to follow our Twitch channel. They'll send you an email whenever we go live, just so you know that. And thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good betting weekend ahead. So take care, guys.